morning, everyone. We're going to give it just 1 minute or so as people join us for the latest MPTA education series on resources to combat COVID-19 at the workplace.
I might shut that window. So Ed, when you speak, you will be moving. I stepped out for a second. The green light, and sorry for my basics. When do I need the green screen around me, or is that something you manage?
They're going to manage that.
Yeah, like Ed did just now. What?
They manage all that. I think
Okay.
We got it.
Right.
Okay, so I think we're going to get started. We have a lot of attendees who have joined us this morning. So welcome to the Missouri Public Transit Association's educational series, the latest edition focusing on resources to combat COVID-19 at the workplace. We know that this topic is more important than ever for our transit providers and stakeholders who continue to battle the ever-changing challenges related to the pandemic and getting their workforce on the job and delivering transit service in Missouri. Today, we have the opportunity to hear from some of the MPTA vendor members, what they might have available to assist you in your fight at your work site. We're really grateful to our MPTA member vendors as well. This is an opportunity for them to meet with the other members of the MPTA, and we want to thank them for their time today. So thank you so much. First, I'd like to welcome the MPTA board members who are here with us this morning. Their leadership is what makes this association and the work that we do so important to Missouri. So thank you to those who are here and who are joining us. I'd also like to thank Mallory Box, our program assistant, for setting this up for us for the Missouri Public Transit Association. Thank you, Mallory, for all your work on this and this panel discussion. And now I'd like to welcome our panelists that are here today. We have Steve Kratzer with American Seating. He's their regional sales manager for the Midwest region. Welcome, Steve. We have REI, Gretchen Hall, the transit manager. Welcome, Gretchen. We have Ifs C3 Safe Solutions with Ed Atkinson, the president of C3 Safe Solutions, and Missy Roberts, their regional sales director. Thank you for joining us. And we have Passio Technologies and Scott Mclaren, their senior business development manager. So thank you all for joining us today. Each of our panelists will be given a short time to talk about their products, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Please make sure to place your questions in the chat box if you have any for our speakers today. So welcome, everyone. We're going to get started, and we're going to kick it off with Steve. So Steve, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. I believe I need to send my presentation over to Mallory. So could you skip me and try somebody else first, and I'll get it over to her? I don't think Mallory has it.
Okay, Steve, no problem. So
sorry about that.
No, not a problem at all. Next up on our agenda is Gretchen Hall with REI. So Gretchen, would you like to be the first one to kick it off today?
Sure, let me share my screen so I can get my presentation up. Okay, is it showing you everything?
Yes, you are good to go, Gretchen.
Perfect. So on behalf of everyone at REI, I just want to say hello and welcome. I'm responsible for the transit properties in the Midwest region, kind of covering the whole middle of the United States. So that includes Missouri. I know a lot of you are fairly familiar with REI, so I'll kind of make it as quick as I can. And then if you have any questions at all, my phone number is listed right there. And then I'll have my email address as well. So that way you can reach out and I can get back to you as soon as I can. So basically now more than ever, communicating safety to your passengers is more important than ever. We have monitors that several transit companies have already installed on buses to use to communicate COVID safety messaging, passenger safety messaging. It also allows you to display advertising. So it not only is it going to cover COVID and safety messaging now, but it's something that in the future you can implement for all different kinds of solutions. The kit that we're kind of offering right now includes a high definition monitor and then a really easy to use digital media player. You can install it anywhere in your bus. Each kit does allow you to provide important information to all your passengers. We can help with any custom messaging that you'd like to do. And then our engineering allows you to put these monitors into the most strategic places on your buses so that they have the best viewing possible from your riders. It's also kind of a good time right now to just double check and make sure no matter who you're using for cameras on your buses, that everything is up to date and all the cameras are functioning properly. Here's kind of a little checklist of things that we suggest going through. If it's anything that you guys need assistance with, don't hesitate to reach out. I can also help with that. But that's going to just allow you to make sure that you guys are getting clear, concise video from the cameras that you do have installed on your systems now. We do offer a wide variety of camera views that allow you to see throughout your entire bus. So that way you're not cutting off important areas of the bus. Here's a little video. Hopefully this plays okay. Sure. Is audio coming through okay?
I think you'll need to turn it up just a little bit. And when you may want to reshare your screen, and when you do, there should be a dialog box in the very bottom that says share computer audio. See if that helps.
Well, it's not letting me, so we may just skip that one. Another kind of great thing that has recently been released by REI is our 360 system. Our 360 system allows you guys to get a full view around the surroundings of the bus at any given time. There's a camera that is installed on each side of the camera or each side of the bus, and then we then stitch that video together so that you can view, the drivers can view everything that's going on at any given time. It will also, as they're turning, allow them to see everything around them. Oh.
Gretchen, we really can't hear that. We can see it for sure, but we can't really hear any of it.
So it basically just allows the drivers to see everything. When a driver might be turning right, it's going to switch to allow them to see everything that's on the right side of the bus. I'm not sure why it's not sharing the audio because I did choose that as an option.
Down at the bottom, you could raise it.
If for some reason we can't get it to work, I'll make sure to share the links to your videos on the follow-up.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why it's not working. We also have our armor that a lot of people are starting to request as they're needing to access live view. It's going to allow you guys to instantly connect to the DVRs that are on the buses and then see where the buses are. You can also view the cameras as the bus is driving down the road. So if a driver were to have issues, you could immediately access that. We've had situations where law enforcement wants the video immediately, And then this will allow you guys to get that information over to law enforcement immediately so they can review the video to see what's going on as well. So that's really kind of everything kind of exciting that we've got going on at REI. Anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd be glad to answer those for you. I've got my email and my phone number listed on there. I know most of you probably already have that, but I'd be glad to help with anything I can.
Thank you, Gretchen, very much for that presentation. As a reminder, if you have any questions for Gretchen or any of our other panelists, please place those in the chat box and we will get to those as they come in, and we will definitely do it at the end of the program. Next up, we have Ifs C3 Safe Solutions. We have Ed and Missy. I'm going to turn it over to both of you.
Hi, how are y'all?
Welcome.
Morning.
Thank you very much. Missy, do you have anything you want to say before I get started?
No, I just know that on behalf of IFS, we are very happy to be here, and I look forward to sharing our information.
All right, great. I want to thank you all for hosting this, and we're looking forward to presenting our product to you. And before you go to my shared screen, I want to just show you that one of the feature products that we really enjoy, we're going to get into more in depth in our slideshow, where we're showing you a proprietary product that we took on back when COVID first hit, back in late March. And so one of the things that we love is this right here. And it's a hand sanitizer. I know you're thinking, gosh, that's not going to protect my vehicle, but it protects you. And this hand sanitizer, actually, you can put 2 squirts right here on your hand, just like that. It has no alcohol, it's non-toxic. I can put it on my face, it doesn't matter. It's food safe. It will not hurt anything. The beauty of it is it lasts for 6 hours. Now that's the EPA rating, is 6 hours. No hand sanitizer lasts until it just dries and then it evaporates. And the next person you see and shake hands with, you got to do it again. This also will make it through 10 hand washes. So you can wash your hands 10 times. The EPA wanted to be sure that we had that on the label so that people would continue to wash their hands even though they had used it. So this is one of the products, but if you want to go to the slideshow, we'll kick off how this all works together and how you can protect vehicles and all your surroundings. So if we can go to the slideshow, that'd be great. All right, thank you very much. And let me change something right here. I'm gonna make this where I can read that whole screen. Very good. So BioProtect, that's the name of the product. And we are a authorized dealer of this product. The beauty of it is that it lasts for 90 days. Now we're going to introduce you to a product that will show you exactly how you get efficacy ratings of 90 days to kill fungus and all types of viruses. It's patented technology. It's easy, it's safe, it's EPA approved, and the beauty of it is it's also FDA approved. We're a Missouri company. I live in Missouri. I live in Mississippi County. We have offices in Cape Girardeau, Springfield, St. Louis, Kansas City, Milwaukee. We also have some California offices, and we work across the country. Missy got her name up there. If you've got any questions, she's the one that got this set up for us. You can contact her. So if we go to the next slide, that'd be great. And this is just an introduction showing that we have a large impact. It's called the BioProtect system. And you can see there's products right here. And if we'll just hold it on that slide for 1 second here, we have Smart Touch on the left, then we have the BioProtect RTU and the BioProtect 500 and the hand sanitizer. The neat thing is they all kind of work together. Smart Touch is a disinfectant, not any different than any other disinfectant that you have out there, except that it's food safe. It has no toxins. It can be used on school buses. It has nothing's, you can't have allergies from it. You can't, it wouldn't matter if you actually put it to your mouth, it wouldn't make any difference. It's hospital safe. The nice thing is, if you can go back to that screen, I know this is probably on an automatic move, but also the BioProtect 500, That it just simply means that it's not been broken down yet. It's a 10-to-1 solution. The RTU is the BioProtect ready to use. And that's what we're going to concentrate on here in a minute, but it's a good in all types of, whether it be indoors, outdoors, it can even be playgrounds. It's good in all environments. Next slide, please. So disinfectants, they only kill while they're wet. So what's protecting you? It says here the other 23 hours a day. That's everybody's big question. How can I be safe an hour from now? No, if we're at the grocery store, we're there and we're touching things, we're like, gosh, I just touched this cart. I really wonder if this cart was clean. Or if you're moving into a vehicle. I fly a lot. When I go on airplanes, when I'm in any type of environment, like a subway or something like that, traveling to another location, I often wonder, how safe am I? Oh, with my BioProtect that I use as my hand sanitizer, it has the actual products from the BioProtect 500, just in a broken down form. So that's why we have a 6-hour rating on that. But the thing we're going to talk about is how you can have your environment protected for 90 days. And that's something that's just unheard of. And so that's what we're going to get into. It goes into some bacteria measurements that you can do. We have done testing in all types of places, and we'll get into that in just a second. Next slide. Patented technology. BioProtect's a patented antimicrobial. Now, what that means is it's good on, and also it means it's good on non-porous and porous. It doesn't matter what the surface is. So if you were in a hotel room, you could spray the entire room, and your drapes, your bedding, it wouldn't even damage it. So in vehicles, it's not going to damage anything that's in the vehicle. But the nice thing is it sets up a covalent bond. We're going to talk about that covalent bond here in just a minute. It lasts for 90 days. So it's killing everything for 90 days for an it's lack for a better word, it's like it's got a bunch of spikes. And as soon as a virus shows up, it pierces the cell and kills that virus. Also, it's non-leaching. So the beautiful thing about that is water-based, contains no harmful chemicals, no heavy metals. It's bound to the surface, and it cannot leach into your surrounding environment. And you can use fogging, and as you can see in a few of our videos, we have different ways that you can apply it, and we'll show you that as well. Next slide. So just kind of, go back one, I'm sorry. So right there, you can see that it shows you a little bit about how it works. And when applied to a surface, it's incorporated into it, forms a covalent bond, which I mentioned earlier. It creates a microbiostatic antimicrobial coating. What that simply means is it coats a form, it's a nanobed shield of spikes. It's constantly alive and killing everything that's trying to get on the surface. It just puts a nice thin layer over it, and you can get a gigantic rain on a playground, snow, it's not going to go away. You would actually have to take a sander or a grinder to remove this from the surface. It's going to set up and be there. You're not going to see it. You're not going to feel it. As I said before, we spray offices, we spray buildings, we spray schools, we spray school buses. We do all types of environments, and you're not going to even know it's there. But you can fog it on. A lot of people these days are using the more reliable sprayers, the Victory sprayer, that you get more bang for your buck, and it works really well. But you can use any type of sprayer that you want. Here at my house, we just take a simple bottle and spray all of our surfaces, inside and outside, and it works great. Next slide. This is the Mayo Clinic. So the Mayo Clinic heard about our product. They're like, wow, we're really interested in this. So they have a lot of ambulances, as you can imagine. And so what they did is they took and sprayed all their fleet, their ambulances, their helicopters, everything they use to transport people. And why that's so important is because they have all types of different people coming into those transportation vehicles every few hours. And the workers that day, if you can go to the next slide, that just gives you an idea how it goes on. They're just simply spraying it with a little canister. We'll go the other direction. We'll get it here in a second. I think we need to go the other way. I'm sorry. Next slide. There we go. Oh. would be the one after the ambulance. Okay, for somebody that's not going, but what it's going to tell you is, and I'll just go ahead and phrase that next slide because I know it by heart. It's going to tell you that Mayo put this into all their facilities and has used it religiously since then. And they apply it every 60 days. Now, it will last for 90 days according to the EPA. But what we do is we say in surfaces and in areas like 7-Elevens and places like that, that we do Hobby Lobby, those kinds of places, we usually do it every 60 days. Some people, like in New York City, in the subways, they do it every 30 days because there's so much activity, they just want to be safe. So if you Google our product, BioProtect, you will find out that it's used in the Statue of Liberty, it's used at Ellis Island, it's used at the New York Trade Center. We just protected the Washington Monument and several things in Washington, D.C. that we all like to visit someday again. And so it has all those capabilities. And it looks like this is probably the last slide. So we're missing a slide that's in between, but that's okay. The BioProtect system, and just to give you a real quick view on how it relates to SARS. So 2 institutes did independent studies of our product. And they're the largest in the country. And because the EPA couldn't actually test something for 90 days. So we put it into the hands of this viral institutes. And both of those institutes did the BioProtect system and found that after 6 weeks, it was 99.7 still working, 99.7 kill even on SARS. People like the Milwaukee Bucks, who I have a direct relationship with, they were able to, they have counters that count bacteria. They put it on their water faucets, even though nobody's going to basketball games. There are people in the building. And they use different things that have high usage of bacteria. And they also found the same thing. We're currently under EPA registration, products registered EPA, of course, but to kill SARS for an extended period of time. It's been approved. They're working out the language right now as far as how to phrase that. When it hits the market, it's going to be nuts. It's already crazy because we're protecting food banks and we're protecting lots of schools and lots of transportation vehicles for people. There's always people coming and going.
Ed, that sounds really good. And that's, we appreciate all the information there. Just want to give you one quick second to wrap up because we do need to move on to the next panel.
I'm wrapping up. We're done. So that's it. Wanted to present this to you. Any questions you have, you can get a hold of Missy or get a hold of us in some way. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Missy. We do have a question in the chat box, but we will save that till the end. We'll let our other 2 speakers go, and then we're going to address all the questions we have in the chat box. So next up, we have Scott Mclaren with Passio Technologies. Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am. I definitely appreciate that. And we should be sharing my screen now. Hopefully it all came up. We always enjoy this time and appreciate the definite opportunity on which you allow us to present to your group. And thank you all for being here. What we're looking at doing specifically on this is we just want you to be definitely informed on what we are doing here at Passio Technologies, specifically when it comes to intelligent transit technologies. This is exactly what we work in. We'll go over a little bit about those today. All of our solutions, but more importantly, we'll discuss 2 solutions that we have that are currently in play that we came about over the last several months, specifically to address a lot of the COVID-19 situations that we're all experiencing and going from there. To give you a brief idea about Passio, we were founded in 2010. So we've been around for a little over 10 years now. Our whole part of our solutions is to make sure that they're available to you. And as we like to say, we're making every passenger count. Our solutions are modular. And by being modular, that allows you to install what you need specifically when it comes to a solution. That way you do not have to have one in order to install the other. So we work separately of one another. So if you're looking for voice enunciation, if you're looking for just passenger counting, anything along those lines, that is what we can do specifically for you at Passio, and is not contingent on having any of our other solutions at any point in time. I do have a brief little video that should play here for you. So let me get that started and we'll continue our conversation after that.
In today's environment, transit agencies are constantly being asked to provide more convenience, features, and reports with the same or even fewer resources. How valuable would it be to have a system that streamlined daily operations using a single integrated platform? Real-time data, value-based solution, easy to learn, simple to use. Passio Technologies checks all of those boxes and more. Our solutions include Passio Go, the real-time passenger app, passenger counting, automated voice announcements, demand response scheduling and management, self-service updates of route, stops, and system controls, dynamic and customizable reporting. Plus, solutions are modular and can be upgraded at any time. Real-time information for passengers at their fingertips. Check. Tools to empower efficient and effective transit management. Check. Reporting and analytics that maximize service delivery and control costs. Check, check. Make every passenger count with Passio Technologies. Visit www.passiotech.com today.
And that was able to give you a brief overview about who we are at Passio. Just as it said, all of our solutions are real time. So there's no need for any of your vehicles to come back into your yard to do any type of uploading. You're able to gather all that information through our reporting solution, which is Navigator. And that controls everything on the back end for you specifically so that you have everything housed in one location. With inside of Navigator is where you're setting up your stops, your routes, anything pertinent to your voice enunciation, and anything that you need for reporting is all inside of there. As we mentioned in the video, we have an array of solutions in our suite. This gives you a brief little overview of everything that we have that is available to you that you can get from us at Passio when it comes to intelligent transit technologies at any point in time. As I discussed, we have some specific solutions that we've recently implemented over the last several months as technology is consistently changing. And from us at Passio, we want you to know that we're committed to make sure we're continuing to look to new ways to make your environment safe and better for your riders at any point in time. One specific solution that we have is called Request and Go. This is what we would call a form of a deviated fixed route solution. So you may have that continual route. Let's just say it's a nice circle for just explanation purposes at this point, but maybe off the beaten path, you have a commuter stop or you have a park and ride stop, only an area that really needs to be serviced maybe a couple of times a day, or there's an area that you want to service after hours. By adding on Request and Go, you allow your riders, when they get to that area, we're going to be able to recognize which stop they're at. They will then hit on a button that is within the Passio Go app and do a virtual wave to your drivers, letting them know, I am at this stop. Upon receiving that notification, the driver will let the rider know they received that information. They will then continue to that stop and they'll be notified that a driver is coming to pick them up. So it gives you that ability to service these stops in a more efficient manner. So you don't have to go off that path, continually going past that stop 20 so many times a day when there's not actually somebody there to service at that stop. Our next solution that we also have is called contact tracing. Now, this one was implemented specifically, as you can imagine, for the COVID-19 pandemic that we're all experiencing at this time. What we are able to use is existing ID cards, or you can supply ID cards to your riders at any point in time. And as they get on the vehicle, they are tapping on the vehicle and we are recording when they got on that vehicle. So we're recording what route they were on, the stop in which they got on, and then as they exit the vehicle, we will record that information as they tap on again. Now we can record that from that card from various media types. We mentioned tapping on, so that would be using the NFC chip that is typically embedded in so many type of student IDs or employee ID cards at this time. But we can also do that with a mag stripe or a barcode, completely whatever type of media is on those cards that you have available for us to use. We will record the number that's specific to that person. And then should they contact you back, letting you know that unfortunately they may have contracted COVID, you're able to go back through Navigator, run a report, and not only identify that person being on there, but the other people that were on that vehicle as well. So that you can go back, continue with your COVID protocol and contacting all those people to let them know you could have been on a vehicle with a person that contracted COVID. You might want to get tested. So they're in turn providing that great opportunity for you to be able to provide that continued safe transit environment for all of your riders. So as I mentioned, we're not grabbing really the demographic information about that person. We're grabbing the number that's on that card and then allowing you to go back to your other systems that would have the person's name and contact information on there to contact them properly. So it's not a system that is grabbing all of that information. So for Scott Mclaren's name, you would go back to your main system to get that information. These are just a brief overview of what we have developed here at Passio. We definitely would love to spend some more time with you and going over this, not only just our contact tracing and request to go, but all of our solutions. So know that we are here. You can reach me at sales@passiotech.com at any time, and we'll be happy to go over any of these other solutions that you may need as well. Again, I'll wrap this up. Thank you, both Kim and Mallory, for the time. Really appreciate it, and look forward to any questions you may have as well.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for joining us today. I know that there is one comment in the chat box right now for you, and we will get to that as soon as we hear from American Seating and Steve Kratzer. So welcome, Steve. Mallory, do you have Steve's presentation now? Perfect. So Steve, you're up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to appreciate you guys allowing us vendors to come join us here and let you guys show you a little bit of what we do offer. Mallory, if you could bring up the, there you go. So, okay, if you can go to, there we go, if we go to the next slide. Again, I'm Steve Kratzer with American Seating. I've been with the company for about 5 years. If you can go to the next slide. There's three main topics I wanted to touch base with you folks on what American Seating is doing to help fight against this virus and slow it down. The first topic is American Seating. If you can go to that next slide again. The next one. Okay, right, no, go back one. Right there, okay. We are a distributor of an antimicrobial barrier solution that kills viruses, molds, bacteria, and other pathogens that land on the surface. We are a distributor, and it is called Clear Ride, powered by Preventive X. It's a durable, clear coat that is applied by spraying or wiping it on. It comes in a 5-gallon pail, and it can do up to 10 to 11 40-foot buses. And when you get this, it is ready to use. There's no adding water or mixing it. Next slide, please. How it works is a Clear Ride is an invisible barrier that protects against the surface. When the microbes and the bacteria come in contact, it punctures it and destroys it. And like I said, this is well known in the hospitality and the hotel and hospital market. Next slide. The comparison to ours to the Aegis, that is one of our competition, we have a longer shelf life of 24 months versus 12. Ours is non-corrosive to aluminum. The pH level is 7, same as water, so you can apply it. It's free of toxin and methanol. It can last up to 30 days when you apply this on non-wearable surfaces. What we do recommend when you apply it on touchable areas to reapply it after 90 days. Let's see, it's, yeah, right there, thank you. Bonds to all surfaces. It will not migrate. It's odorless and colorless. It dries completely in minutes. It helps for future cleaning, and that it does not take away from your normal cleaning. You still need to have your crew do that. It prevents mold and mildew, eliminates odors, and it's also EPA registered and biostatic agent. I do have the information on that EPA registration if you would like. If you can go to the next slide. Some of the companies that are using this are Boeing, Delta, Brightline, Air Force One. Next slide. Now, when you apply these materials, you have to have something to measure it. There's called an ATP meter, which you can get on Amazon. It's about $1,500. And what you do is this device You do a swab test and you put it in that meter and it gives you a rating. The higher the rating, the more bacteria and viruses you have. In the medical field, what's passable for them is 30 or less. So, let's see here. Lastly, on this topic, the 5-gallon pails are about $1,200. You can order it through our parts department at Transportation Parts at American Seating. On any new passenger seat that goes to the OEMs, we spray the Clear Ride material on it. Okay, on this slide, this is the second topic I would like to visit about is if any of the transit customers on your heavy duty buses have the Insight, Vision, or Metropolitan seat, we offer a sneeze shields. Next slide, please. The shield itself is a 20 gauge flexible clear vinyl, approximately 30 inches wide and 25 inches high. You can put this on existing retrofittable buses, or if you have a new order with your Gilligs, New Flyers, Proteras, you can add that. There's approximately price on a 40-foot vehicle, it's about $1,000. The last topic I wanted to touch bases with you is, as mentioned, the Insight seat is a seat that we developed back in 2007. It was called the Insight Classic. It had fabric and vinyl. On any seating prior to 2015, we do offer a hard shell insert that you can pop off the fabric and pop on the hard shell insert. The colors that we do offer are in the right-hand corner. You're looking about $140 per seat. If you do have interest in that, just shoot me an email. I can get your bus number, your seating layout, and we can provide you a price quote on that. And that is basically the 3 topics I wanted to touch base with you folks on what American Seating is doing to help fight against this virus. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. I think these presentations have been very helpful. We have some questions in our chat box that I'm going to go ahead and start reading. And then if any of you want to respond, that would be fantastic. Some of them are directed to individuals who are on the panel right now. And as a reminder to all of our attendees, if you have other questions, please include those in the chat box. Right now, Matt Crawford with City Utilities is leading with numerous questions this afternoon. So we're happy to have you on, Matt. Thank you very much. So the first question, Gretchen, I know that you've already answered it, but only the panelists could see it. So I'm going to read it out loud so that other attendees will get to hear the answer as well, if that works. So REI, does the kit panel update remotely via wirelessly or cellularly? I saw that it worked by SD card. Also, would it integrate with any other systems? You're muted, Gretchen.
Everything's loaded on the SD card as far as the information you want to display. And then as far as things that it integrates with, it's really understanding what he's wanting to integrate with. So that'll something I'll take offline.
Okay, great. So next question, BioProtect, is there a foaming dispenser mountable for passengers on the bus? i.e. City Utilities has gallon jugs of hand sanitizers on each of their buses. So is there a way to mount these?
True. We do have a way to do that, and we can get that information to whoever needs it. So just get a hold of us, contact Missy, and we have that available. And you can buy it in gallons or 5 gallons or whatever, and then put it into the dispenser.
Great. Thank you for that. So there was a question from one of the attendees. All of the information, contact information from each of our panelists will be available on our website, as well as a link to their websites after this presentation. And Mallory has recorded the presentation as well. So we'll be sharing that on the website in case someone missed it. There was another offline question that isn't even in the chat box. We know that we have other vendors who are participating as attendees today and may have products that they'd like to highlight. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll be doing these on a regular basis. And I think the next one coming up is on passenger safety. So if you have products that apply to passenger safety and would like to participate in that panel, just shoot Mallory or I an email. So next question, next comment from Matt Crawford. Matt, again, kudos to you. Passio, Matt loves the idea of modular ITS components. Can they work off an existing cellular connection in the bus, such as a camera system? And can you track to load on the bus and put it into the customer-facing apps?
Sure, great questions there, Matt. And we can work off an existing cellular router that is in place. It will be determined based on that type of router and the ports that are available. We do like to have our own router on there because we have everything configured to pull directly from that, so we can do a lot of the diagnostics. And we do have an Internet of Things dashboards that allows you to monitor every solution that is out there to understand what devices are working or not working. But we could definitely work through that. As far as the question for posting vehicle capacities to your CAD AVL, our front-facing app, we can definitely do that. We, of course, have that integrated directly with Passio Go, which is our CAD AVL solution. But if it is something that you need us to capture that automatic passenger counting or electronic passenger counting, and then push it out to another CAD AVL, we can do that. We have a very open API solutions that we have out there. So we have no problems sharing that information. As we eloquently like to say it, we'll play in the sandbox with anybody that likes to play in the sandbox with us. No problems at all. So if you want us to integrate with somebody, we're happy to push your information to them, allow them to grab that API, or we can pull it back however best for you for that. Just know that in our Navigator solution, we collect all of that information and can help you with that reporting as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Scott. So next question is directed to American Seating. How long does the application last with your product, and can it be applied with an electrostatic sprayer?
Great questions. Yes, it can be applied to a sprayer, and we recommend on the high touchable areas like the handrails on the back of the seats or the doors, they will reapply every 90 days. On non-wearable surfaces like the windows and stuff like that, it can last up to 30 months. As mentioned before, the thing is that you really need to get one of those ATP meters to be able to test and see what your level is for bacteria and viruses.
Great, thank you. So quick question to BioProtect. What is your website? Someone wanted to know.
What we'll do is we have 3 different sites they can go look at the product. We're a distributor with USCG, and we have information there under, and we'll have to give you that information. But C3 Green Energy and C3 Safe Solutions is the same company. They can go to c3greenenergy.com and leave any kind of question at c3greenenergy.com.
Okay, great.
Or contact Missy as well.
Great. Any other questions from our attendees that I might have missed? Yes, perfect. Passio, with automated passenger counters, do you walk customers through to a full NTD survey reporting or certifying the passenger counters?
Yes, we can definitely do that. We wish that we could certify it all ourselves, but of course they do not allow us to certify our numbers. But 100% we are there to help you through that. And that is part of the service that we provide with our automatic passenger counting and the NTD reports and certification that you would want.
Great, great, thank you. Any other questions from the attendees? Please place them in the chat box. Matt, very graciously, thank you to all the panelists. If you can't see the chat box, a quick reminder for our panelists and everyone who is attending, we are planning on hosting the Midwest Transit Conference this year in St. Louis, September 7th through the 9th, and it will include 3 states, Missouri, Iowa, and Kansas, and their providers will be invited. It will be in St. Louis at the Marriott Grand Hotel. So I think that these products will still be very important for people to hear about. So if you are interested, there will be information on our website shortly about that conference, or you can shoot us an email. That will work too. We just had a website posted for C3. It's c3greenenergy.com. It's a good contact site, and then they'll send out all the information to you. Any other questions today? Any other things that our panelists, one last word that you'd like to get in before we wrap up today about your products? Your elevator speech. We can't get in elevators, so maybe we should call it your Zoom speech.
Right, there you go.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you everyone for hosting us. Like I said, the copy of this will be available on the MPTA website at mopublictransit.org. We will also have all of our panelists' contact information as well as their websites in probably less than an hour. I know Mallory can work very fast. So that'll be available to all of our attendees. Any other questions you may have, you can also shoot them to us and we will route them to the correct panelists. But I want to thank everyone for attending. If you're not a member of the Missouri Public Transit Association, we hope you seriously consider joining us and help supporting public transit in Missouri. It is a critical component of the infrastructure in Missouri with a $3.67 billion economic output in this state. So we need to keep running even during a pandemic. It is completely essential. So thank you very much for helping us and helping our providers with these challenges. And I think that is all we have today. Oh, and someone wanted me to repeat really quickly the information about the conference. So I'm happy to give that Zoom elevator speech. It is September 7th through the 9th of this year in St. Louis at the Marriott Grand Hotel. It will be the Midwest Transit Conference. It will include providers from Iowa, Kansas, and Missouri, as well as some of the other surrounding states. Will be reaching out to their providers as well and stakeholders. So we hope to see you in St. Louis. It will be a hybrid conference. So there will be an in-person component as well as a one-day virtual event for those who don't feel comfortable traveling yet. But hopefully we will see you in St. Louis. That information, a save the date, is available on the website as well. So that's mopublictransit.org. So thank you all very much. Have a good afternoon and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you
very
all.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.